Let's get to our guest right now for some reaction. He's a Bloomberg best economist who is one of the most accurate forecasters of CPI data. He is Nariman Behravesh, the chief economist at IHS Global Insight. Nariman, okay, so your reaction first to the retail sales numbers. Let's take core, though, because that's what a lot of people watch. Down 0.1%. What do you make of that?
That was a disappointment. We'd hoped that number would be a little up, a tenth, 2/10, something like that. That's a little worrisome. It does suggest that consumers are still being very, very cautious. We talk these days about an epidemic of thrift, of savings, if you will, and I think that's what we're seeing on the part of consumers. They're just being extremely cautious.
Right. The economy essentially is not growing as fast as we would like because people are saving, right?
That's correct. The saving rate's the highest it's been since the early 1990s. Businesses are saving a lot. They're not spending much. Everybody's waiting. It's sort of a waiting game, if you will. And that's a little worrisome. I don't think it's going to result in a double dip or anything like that, but we are going to have a period of very sluggish growth.
Right. I want to talk more about that because Goldman Sachs, their economist there, Ed McKelvey, came out and said we may see a double dip, a 25 to 30% double dip. But I'll ask you about that, Nariman, in a little bit. But let me take your reaction on the consumer prices, though. Not a whole lot of surprise here amid all this debate we've got about inflation, deflation.
Yeah, I mean, the good news is inflation is not a problem. That core number, as you were saying, sticking in there about somewhere between 1 and 1.5% a year. I mean, that's what it amounts to. We don't see that changing very much over the next few months. So, yes, deflation might be a little bit of a threat, but it's still out there. We don't think it's the most likely scenario. And forget inflation. I mean, we're not going to get inflation for another 3 or 4 years.